For the first 3 months of training, I trained only twice per week and still made a lot of progress. Now, I won't sit here and tell you to train only twice per week, but it is possible to train not that much, but still to make a lot of progress in the gym. It is not just about the amount of training days that you have, but also about a few principles that by following in your training plan, you will get results. In this video, I will walk you through 4 of the main ones that by following in your training, you will get a lot of results. Let's start with the first and most obvious one. It is that you train what you wanna grow. That's obvious, right? If you want to grow your biceps, you should train them. If you don't wanna grow them, then don't train them. The only way to grow a muscle is to train it, right? Now the difference between a training plan like a push-pull leg split and an upper-lower split is pretty big, right? Not massive, but there is a difference in terms of muscle gain outcomes. Most people will see a little bit more results if they do a push-pull leg split instead of an upper-lower one. And this is the reason why. So there are 2 main components to it that I want to touch in this video. And it is the second thing. So it is about training volume, but they're not about training volume, that's the first thing, the muscles that you train. Because in an upper-lower split, you are more restricted when it comes to training, let's say, your shoulders. You don't have as much time in an upper-lower split than in a push-pull leg split when you have a whole day dedicated to shoulders and chest. And because of that, that's what I was doing, right? Not you. I neglected my side delts. I didn't do lateral raises, I only did overhead presses. And because of that, after 1 year of training, they took a pretty big hit, right? They were not that big. And that is the thing, that's the most important part of the difference between 2 training plans. It is part of the first principle, but it is about training what you want to grow and isolating what you want to grow even more and doing more sets for these muscle groups. And that's the second thing. So the second thing is more about volume. I want to make it more about volume, but I just wanted to highlight the point that some of you might train 4 times per week and neglect a muscle group and see a lot less results than some of you who will train 4 times per week, the same days, even the same time. But we will not neglect these muscle groups and will grow them, because at the end of the day muscle growth looks like this. You train each muscle with a great intensity and you follow the third principle of recovery, so you recover the muscle the day after training it and you do it for a few sets per week. The more sets you do per week, usually the more muscle gain that you will see, up to a certain point in which there is an effect of diminishing results. But up to that point you will see more results, and a training plan that allows you to get more sets is probably better. But here is one thing that I want to highlight. When it comes to the marginal benefit of doing more, it is not that massive. You will see a benefit from going from 10 sets to 15 for sure, but if you are somewhat like the average man who has a life, who does not want to dedicate all of his life to the gym, then training 10 times per week, 7 times per week a muscle group and training hard is completely fine and you will see a lot of results. And the third principle is about having a rest day for this muscle the day after training it. So if you train a muscle pretty hard that you wanna grow and you have a rest day, at least one the day after training it, then you're probably 80% of the way to getting jacked. You know, when it comes to training, there are more aspects to diet and recovery in general, but when it comes to training, you are golden. And then there is the fourth principle. So how one gets jacked? He trains consistently over weeks and months, right? Essentially. There are more aspects for sure, but essentially this is the process. The fourth principle is that you can actually stick to it. Because let's pick 2 guys. One does an upper-lower split 4 times per week. He goes to all of his workouts. He follows all of the other principles that I showed you in this video. He follows the 5th bonus principle that I will give you in a minute. And he does it consistently. On the other side, the second guy, he does a push-pull leg split 6 times per week. He does not go to all of his workouts. He goes to 4 out of 6 workouts per week. Because of that, he neglects the principle of training what he wanna grow, because he doesn't go to some of his push workouts, to some of his leg days, and you know, he doesn't grow these muscles as much as the other muscles. he develops an unproportional physique and he gains suboptimal results. Sticking to the plan, doing it consistently is probably the most important thing that you can do. And before you think about how you can optimize all of the other stuff, start by making sure that you can actually stick to it. And I know most people don't really know what they can do. They've never tried, so they have a bunch of limiting beliefs to how many days they can train per week. I used to be like this, and they need to go and shatter these beliefs. But in some cases, this mindset is just not true. Some people just don't have time. And because of that, they will try to do the training plan and they will fail, they will not stick to it, and they will make the worst mistake. And now the fifth bonus thing, it is about training the same muscle twice per week. Now, I can go into science right now and tell you about the studies that say that training twice per week yield a little bit more results than once, accustoming for the same volume and shit like that. And there are also studies that say the opposite for sure. In general, if you are really fatigued during your workout, so you go and you train for 1 hour and you're so fatigued and you just don't want to bother and get muscular failure, the sets that you will do with this level of fatigue will be worse than if you would stop this workout and take all of the remaining sets that you have and allocate them into another workout. And that's essentially what training twice per week, the same muscle, that's the benefit of it. And that's essentially it. If you enjoyed this video, you can like and subscribe. If you want to see me yapping on a course for a few hours, you can check out the link in the description. Bye.